Hey guys. Okay, so I know a lot of you are busy right now, so we're gonna do this recording. Me and Katie are hanging out here this morning for our Mondays at 11. Would love if this works for your schedule for you to be able to join us sometimes. But today I wanted to cover, since the main topic that we talk about here in this space is activity and making sure that we are doing the right activities to see growth, because nobody wants to be on a hamster wheel. And as we talked about in some of our earlier calls on this SSS, Set Up for Success with Sally, that we do each week, we don't want you to get on a plane to nowhere, right? We want there to be an end goal, and we want you to reach that end goal. I don't want you riding on a plane just doing some of the things for no reason, right? And so today I wanted to talk to you about distraction and confusion. Two things that I deal with actually a lot in my life, and two things that are actually very spiritual, because our God is not a God of confusion. Our God is very specific and he is very intentional. And so when we feel distracted, like we're seeing other people doing other things, y'all, I have a lot of people. I mean, I got 5,000 friends almost on Facebook and 10,000 people I'm connected with on Instagram. I see a lot of people doing a lot of other things, right? There are many different ways to skin a cat. There are many different ways to make income from home. There are many different missional things that you can get behind. There are different things that are good things. Some of them may not be great things, but for the most part, there are other things that are good. And I posted something on my stories yesterday that just really spoke to me, and it said, discernment isn't always trying to decide between good and bad, right? Discernment a lot of times is trying to decide between good and what God's good and best is for you. Okay, so with that being said, today we're just going to talk about where God has you. And when you know, and when you are at peace with where you are, it's a lot easier to fight off the distractions and the what ifs and the having your hands in too many things and so nothing is fruitful kind of feelings, because it's about commitment. It is about intentionality. And I think that is very biblical. I think that's very scriptural to say, Lord, I'm going to trust you with this thing that you've put in front of me, and I'm going to give my effort and my activity, right? And my trust in you to move forward in this thing, and not try and control and hold on to these other things, or look at what potentially you have for other people and covet or wonder or be confused if I should be doing that too. Because it's not helpful. It's not going to help you grow where you're at. And honestly, if you don't take control of that mindset, no matter what you do, you will always be discontent, and you will always not be able to go full force into anything, which is going to inhibit any success of anything. So narrow it down. Where are you? What has God put in front of you? What door are you walking through? And do you feel settled about that? I think that's where you get alone, or that's where you get with your mentor, your friends, your community group, your community here with Plexus, your leader, and just be like, remind yourself of why you're here. How did God introduce you to this opportunity? How did God introduce you to these products? What have they done specifically for you that you're passionate about enough to be able to share your story and impact other people? Something that I learned way long ago. Again, I've been doing this for 7.5 years. So I have seen all sorts of, even friends in this business that have gone on to another company, or usually when that happens, they hit a few different more companies along the way. And a lot of times those people end up coming back because what we have here is really special. But when we call that sometimes jumping ship or things like that, but like, you got to pick a ship and you got to stay on the ship and you got to commit to the ship if you want to reach a destination. If you keep hopping on different ships or different planes, you're going to be flying all over the place and you may never get where you actually want to go. And I'm here to tell you, after almost 8 years in this business with multiple diamond uplines who have been in this even longer than I have, that this is an incredible ship to be on. The integrity of this company, the direction of this company, the heart behind our company, the fact that it is faith-filled and has products that actually work in a full range of holistic healing for the body. You guys, we kind of got it made here, okay? And they are so generous to us with our regular pay, with the incentives, with the trips. I mean, conventions coming up, all of the things. I cannot wait for those of you who have not been before to be at convention with us and just see how incredible this One Plexus community is. And of course, our teams, which I'm so grateful to God to be a part of as well. But if this is where God has you, then even my friend Jody always says, like, blinders on. Right? Like if God has given you a purpose and a mission, even if you feel like it's small and you're not necessarily this big blazing fire yet, like protect your spark, protect that fire by not letting wind blow from all directions and really stay focused and growing that fire with one steady blow. Okay, I have so many, what are those called? Stories. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean? That's how you're going to grow your flame. And that's how you're going to be able to spread that passion and fire to other people, is by really getting intentional about where you're at, what you're doing. And so there are some things that you can do to make sure that that is a thing. First and foremost, understand that other people's feelings are not truth. And our feelings are not truth either. I was talking to a friend the other day and I was saying, like, I protect the word truth because as a Christian, we don't want no universalism up in here. You know, there is a truth, but this is not the gospel. We're not talking about the gospel. We're talking about other people's feelings. We're talking about other people's experiences / maybe even our own feelings and experiences, and whether or not we count those as true. And when we do that, or when we have doubt that they might be true, then we are creating confusion and distraction within ourselves, which translates into almost every area of our lives. So remember that just because someone else has a story that is wrapped in their thoughts and their feelings and their decisions doesn't mean that that has to be true for you. God tells you what is true for you, and your experience can dictate what your thoughts and your feelings are. And if you need help with that, that is what your coaches and your sidelines, that is what we're here to do, to help you where you're at, to get you to where you want to go with us. The grass is greener, not on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, always. Every single opportunity, whether small or great, whether this company has a lesser comp plan or this company has a better comp plan or lesser products, y'all, there are people making millions of dollars on crappy products. What did they do? They watered their own grass, right? We have an amazing opportunity, amazing compensation plan, amazing products, amazing reward, amazing all of the things. Your grass will grow where you water it. And watering it is not just taking your products. Watering it is not just posting on social media. Watering your grass is not just doing the bare minimum. When we water our grass and we want, we live in Augusta. If you want your yard to look like the Masters, you got to take care of that baby, right? Like we gotta make it look nice, and we got to do all of the hard things of pulling out the weeds. That toxic thought life, those lies that we've been believing, all of those things are part of cultivating grass that you're proud of, so that you don't look over the fence and say, their grass is growing a little bit, faster than mine. So what? They might use a different weed killer. They might use, aerating shoes. Who knows what they're doing? Doesn't necessarily have to matter if you know what you need to be doing to water and cultivate your own grass. So some of those things are belief in yourself, which is a process that you have to plug into and do the work. Because again, that translates into every area of your life. Belief in yourself and what God's calling you to, and trusting in the Lord. Belief in our products. You guys, if you're not showing up for these testimony events, I'm telling you, It will change how you feel about sharing these products when you consistently hear new stories of how these products are changing people's lives. You have to have belief in the products, what they've done for you. If you need to change your regimen because you're not happy with where you're at in your health, get with your sponsor. Maybe there's some pieces to your health puzzle that need to be flipped around. I went through an incredibly unhealthy season where I was getting headaches and I was, exhausted. It had nothing to do with my products stopping working all of a sudden. Okay. 2020 and 2021, I was going through emotional hell and stress and all of these things, as a lot of us were, anxiety, all of these things that happened in 2020. It had nothing to do that ProBio 5 suddenly stopped working for my body. Okay. If we're going to preach that these aren't a magic pill, then we have to understand that they're not a magic pill and that our health is multifaceted still. Doesn't change the fact that our tools are perfectly working like they're supposed to work. We also have to understand there are sometimes other things we've got to get in line. Now, a year and a half later, I'm healthier than I was prior to 2020 because I started focusing on these other things, okay? And never dropped the ball on my supplements and continued to support my body in that way as well. So is your belief in the product strong? And belief in our opportunity? Whether you're making $100 a month or $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month, do you have belief that someone could join you and go Fast Start Silver? Do you have belief that you can earn the spa gift card this month and add 3 to your team every month? Part of that's wrapped into belief in yourself, but what's possible is, if this works for one person, it works. If these products work for one person, they work. If this opportunity works for one person, it works. We get to shift how we tap into that and what we do to make it work for us. Okay. A lot of times when I see people either getting discouraged or maybe they want to try something different, they'll say, I was doing all of the right things, but where does that place the blame? It means I was doing everything right, but it doesn't work. And we can flip that on its head and say, but if it works for one person, then it works. So if it wasn't working for you, then there's another part to that equation. Then you couldn't have been doing all the right things, right? So part of that is, what are all the right things? We're going to talk about that in just a second. So belief is number one. Be a part of what is happening. Be a part of the book studies. If you know you need personal growth, then you need accountability in that area. Choose and commit to be a part of things. Katie is a part of this call every single week. Katie, I'm so proud of you. You are being a part every week that I'm here. Be a part of your team calls. Be a part of the training. There's so much good training. Be a part of the contests. Y'all, there is so much cash on the line for a convention contest. That is on top of every other reward, iPads, all of the things on top of regular paycheck. Be a part of what's going on. When you are separating yourself and you're not a part of what's happening, it's a lot more easy to be distracted, to be confused, and to covet something else, right? Choose to be a part of what's happening. Plug into the system so that you can also, number 3, be strategic. Be strategic in what you're doing. If I go outside to my yard and I have a lot of rose bushes, my friend who lived here previously planted a lot of rose bushes. If I pruned like one bush every few weeks, my rose bushes would not look as nice as they look right now. Instead, I strategically prune every single rose bush every time I'm out there pruning so that new growth can happen, all of the things. You have to be strategic in what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to feel like you're doing all of the stuff, all the right things, and you might not actually be getting anywhere. And so when we're strategic, we're talking about maybe don't reinvent the wheel, right? On this call, we say, find you an IPA sheet. I love this one that has all 5 days of the winning day printed out. We also have multiple other IPA sheet options where there's the IPA sheet book Katie uses. Get strategic about your business. And when you treat it like a business, it will play out and pay you like a business. And what that means is getting intentional with your activity and intentional with your goals. If you don't know where you want to go, you're never going to get there. I mean, if I just got in my car and didn't know where I wanted to go, I could drive for a long time and never actually get anywhere because I didn't have a plan to get anywhere. So we need to be strategic. And in the beginning, you guys, you might need help being strategic with that. That's why this Silver and Six has been so good. That training is amazing. Our two girls, Chelsea and Emma, have been running that chat group this past week. And holy cow, they did such an amazing job taking those videos and making that an accountability chat thread. Those are the things, those are how we get started. An IPA sheet, plugging into what's going on, having a goal to sign 3 people up every month and help that person stick with their products. Help that person understand that if they refer other people, they're going to get paid too. Those are just the bones. Be strategic about what you plan to do that month, what you plan to earn, how you plan to grow, and the results will come. Be committed to that. That's number 4. Be committed to yourself. That's an area where I have to grow in a lot of saying, like, I've spent my entire life being committed to other people's, what they need, whether that's my husband, my kids, my parents, like that has been a picture of my life. And so I have to learn to be committed to myself, to be a woman of my word and keeping my word to myself. By showing up, by doing things that maybe I don't want to do, by doing an IPA sheet 3 to 5 days a week, right? I have to be committed to myself because I'm committed to the goal. I'm committed to the opportunity that God's put in front of me. I'm committed to helping myself be better committed to the people that God has given me, which includes all of you. And so be committed to growth. Be committed to your lane and be committed to your people. So again, just wanting to reiterate, all of the right things isn't different. You're not going to grow by trying to be an influencer on Instagram and making 800 reels. That's great. And that's going to potentially help grow, who's paying attention to you. And it's wonderful to be able to do that and have that, but that's marketing. All that is marketing. And guess what? If you're not doing the other things in your IPA, you're marketing for other people. You're marketing for someone else who's willing to have the conversation. You're marketing for someone else who's building the relationship with someone and showing someone that they care enough to actually get them started. So all the right things might look like I'm doing a lot and it's, maybe I feel stuck, or I'm doing a lot and I haven't seen the payout that I wanted to see, or I'm doing a lot, but I still am not earning X, Y, and Z. A lot may not be all the right things. And so that's where you get serious about, like, if you tried to fill this out 3 to 5 days a week, would that look different than what you feel like your a lot is? What you felt like all the right things was? Are you actually doing those things often enough to make the difference? And remembering that there is a 60 to 90 day rule. How many times are you starting over? How many breaks are you taking of 2 weeks of not posting anything or talking to anybody where you're, kind of cutting your feet off? And that's where that commitment comes back. Be committed to seeing your growth and be committed to the process. That IPA is, I'm telling you, every single person at the top of this company will tell you it's all about the consistency of the little things. And so these are not big, hard things. Is it great to do a live video? Yeah. Is it great to learn how to do reels? Yeah. Is it great to have all of these other wonderful health and wellness tips that you can share off the top of your hat? Sure. It's also great to have quilting tips that you can share, or sourdough tips. I mean, adding value is adding value. But if you're not doing the things that it takes to actually get into conversation with people, to help build value and build into their excitement in trying the products, helping them actually get started, then all of that other stuff is just going to feel like a hamster wheel. And that is not where we want you to be. We want you to be doing all the right things that are going to help you see growth. So when you feel that way, I want you to take your thoughts captive, and I want you to remind yourself, am I feeling distracted, confused, and potentially looking over the fence at other people's grass instead of just committing to watering my own? This is a good place to water your grass. Been here for a long time, seen people that have come from other companies, seen people that have gone to other companies. I'm telling you, I ain't going anywhere. Okay. I mean, you couldn't pay me to go anywhere else. Literally, they do that sometimes. They will offer to pay people to come to their companies, but it's just not worth it. It is not worth it. You are in an amazing place. You have products that work and you have a compensation plan that works. And we want to train you and make sure we are helping you make sure that they work for you. So get your winning day out. I also want to encourage you for the rest of this month. Obviously, we've got some fun things coming up, but in May, we're going to have, like Jessica Heffley, again, second highest ranking person in the entire company, is our diamond upline, my personal friend, my life coach, all of the things. And she has gotten together a 1-a-day in May training, and we're going to be sharing that. And it is bite-sized pieces. So even in a 30-minute call like this, that's been a lot of stuff that we've talked about, obviously wrapping it around to IPA. But a lot of times, like, we need the little bits and pieces spelled out of like, okay, so what are we actually talking about mindset? What are we actually talking about helping people go sober? Like, what are the little nitty gritty things and little bits and pieces? So it's going to be 5 minutes, one video every day that should fully encompass a lot of the things that we're talking about when we're saying to build a sustainable and strong business mentally and in reality. So I hope that you'll be excited to do that with me. I've got to record a few of those myself, so I will be part of that training. But ultimately, you guys, I just want you to be excited and to be settled about where you are. And that doesn't mean that we can't love people where they're at. Sometimes I have that struggle too, because I'm kind of so hardcore and so committed, because my belief in Plexus is very strong. That when I see other people maybe that I've reached out to in the past choose other things, or when people that you've maybe poured into choose to go another direction, we don't take that personally. You cannot allow that to be taken personally. It doesn't say anything about you, and it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, right? They are them, you are you. Doesn't say anything about me when someone else chooses to do something different. We can love, and you can bless and release, and you honestly can work to hope and, wish the best for people, even if they're doing something different than you. It's getting over that offensiveness, and what rubs us the wrong way is saying, it feels like what you're saying and what you're doing makes me feel like what I'm doing is wrong. And that's where our belief comes back in and say, I know I'm in the right place. You do you. Happy for you. I'm sticking here. I'm going to work on my belief. I'm going to be a part of what's going on here. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to be committed, and I'm going to water my grass so that I can have this beautiful, beautiful lawn that all of these friends are going to come and have this barbecue and a great time, because we are building a beautiful community right here, and you are a part of that. So I love you guys. Love you, Katie. Love you, Aubrey. Thanks for being here with me. We'll get this recording posted so we can share with our friends who weren't able to be here today, but ultimately just want to encourage you. You're in the right place. You have an incredible opportunity at your fingertips, and we are here and committed to helping you be committed to yourself and to your growth as well.